Oh boy, Affinity was just acquired by Canva, and they had a press release yesterday going over all the great reasons why they were acquired by Canva. Actually, no, they didn't really, but I thought I'd talk about this because I do have a sort of stake in Affinity. In my rise of open source software, I go over Affinity how I really like the software. I thought it was really good. The only issue I had with it was that it was only on Windows. They offered a single subscription price, so you bought it once and you essentially had it. But now there is a lot of uncertainty in the air as they were bought by Canva. If you go on their website, you can just see here, Canva Pro, start your free pro trial. Yes, because Canva is not a single purchase product, it is in fact a service. You can see here that there is a free version, but there is a pro version which is £100 a year for one person, and it gives you all these features, which is maybe nice for some people, but you may not want this. You may not want cloud storage. Well, I have my own storage, why would I need that? So this is one of the issue with subscription-based services, is that they include a bunch of stuff to sort of justify the price when you don't ask for it. It's like you might just want one service within that subscription, but you have to pay for all of it. The customers are not too happy about this, as you can see that a lot of people have been pointing out this tweet they made in 2022 in October, so not even 2 years yet, saying ain't nobody acquiring, whereas that age like milk, that's not a long time ago they said that. Something obviously changed resulted in them getting acquired, a juicy amount of payout perhaps. So why are they so mad? Well, we can kind of look at their apology video and press release. It's not great, so I'll stick to this point where they ask what's going to happen to Affinity, and this is what they say.
Is still here. There's no layoffs or changes in that regard whatsoever.
Just great, no layoffs.
More focused than ever, I think, to deliver some incredible updates and improvements to our apps moving forward. Our apps are still available on our website.
You can still purchase the game.
Apps still available as a one-off purchase, and everyone who's bought our apps previously, of course, can still use them in perpetuity moving forward.
But that's really what they say. So they're saying that there's no layoffs. You can still purchase the products as usual. Essentially, nothing is initially changing right now. It's still that you buy that license, that's it. And they just keep saying, oh, there's going to be some great updates with our Canva merger. What great updates? Unfortunately, they do not say. So they even say that they thank the community, even though they were not involved in the acquisition. They didn't ask for the purchase. Why are they being thanked? They are not involved in this. You haven't said why, what's going to happen with the product. You're just saying great things are going to happen. What great things? People would really like to know. It's like, are you introducing some nice AI tools? Are you introducing some nice cloud storage that's available in Canva? What is great is going to happen to the company? What benefits are we seeing? But you're just saying that there are going to be, but there isn't. I think that would have really nicely cleared the air. The CEO did some more clarity, saying that there's no plans to remove the availability. So it's obviously still that one purchase, and they're focused on version 2, so no version 3 anytime soon. Currently, at least in the short term, nothing's going to change with Affinity in terms of its subscription. Is that it's not going to be a subscription, which is still good, but it didn't say in the long term that we're going to stick to that. And I wouldn't be surprised if version 3 comes out and it is a subscription-based service. Canva sells a subscription-based service. Why would they not do it with Affinity, for example? I think a good example, if it did go, this acquisition went well, was that you could buy Affinity as it is, still a single purchase, but in the Canva side, you could also subscribe, for example, and get Affinity. So you get the benefits, and then you also get Affinity. But if you just want to use Affinity, then just purchase it, because a lot of Affinity users do not care about this. They don't want a template. They don't want these brand kits. They don't want the magic switch. They don't want cloud storage, and they don't want customer support. They just want to use the software. The very frustrating thing about a subscription service, that you're paying for these features that you don't want. Let's look at some of these comments, shall we, when we scroll down. And really good one of the top comments. Someone said, not good news at all, which is understandable. Acquisitions have been going horribly right now, especially in the gaming industry with Microsoft and Sony. Sony acquired Bungie, who owned Destiny 2. 1 day later, they get laid off, and they delayed the update, delayed the DLC. And there's even been rumors saying that Sony regret buying that company because it just hasn't seen any growth. Microsoft recently, I think, have laid off more staff, and they said that they haven't seen the growth expected. Kind of on them, because they just bought these companies and did absolutely nothing with them. Others like Embracer Group, so Saints Row reboot came out, that whole developer team, a veteran development company, were all laid off because of the failure of that Saints Row game, which was not even apparently their fault. Supposedly it was the higher ups at Deep Silver that made a decision to put a direction on the game. So a lot of people just don't like acquisitions. Acquisitions have not been a good thing. It resulted in layoffs. It results in product changes that people don't want, etc. The second comment is really good. The whole reason for buying Affinity was it was independent and didn't involve a subscription. That reason is soon to evaporate. Which was one of the great things about Affinity. It was kind of a smaller indie kind of like studio. They just sold you a subscription. It was really successful. Their product lineup was growing. It was getting better. The version 1 got so many great updates. They introduced publisher. They introduced all the brushes and all the assets you get. They then did version 2, which did require you to buy the service again, but that was kind of understandable. You can't just pay once and then that lasts you for eternity. In a lot of cases, I think that was an understandable reason. You could still use the version 1.6 if you didn't want to switch to 2, because that was still a fine piece of software. And on the Affinity subreddit, we can see a lot of people are obviously just all talking about it. People saying people will just go back to Adobe if Affinity becomes a subscription service, which is, like I said before, because a lot of people switched from Adobe to Affinity because it wasn't a subscription-based service. So I do hope that Affinity and Canva now looks at this, realize that the big reason that this software is successful is because it wasn't offering a subscription service, and they have to look at that and realize, okay, we have to sell this product as a standalone in order for it to continue being successful, rather than trying to force it into the subscription service. Overall, I don't think we'll see any changes really anytime soon. I don't think anything's going to change with Affinity. You can still buy version 2 of all these products it's in fact 30% off now. So if you do want to buy them, go ahead. If you were to buy this, you would have version 2 for as long as it's available. Version 1 lasted a very long time. I used to use version 1 before I switched to Linux, because unfortunately this product was not available on Linux. That was my biggest issue, is that it would have been nicer for it to switch to Linux, because there's no other competitors on Linux that really sell their product. So if you are thinking of anything, maybe I shouldn't buy anymore, then I don't worry, because they can't just change the license. You have that until version 2 is essentially done. They go subscription. If they do go subscription, that won't be until a few years. I don't think a year or a couple of years they have no issue. But you never know, they could just do a little rug pull and be like, actually, here's version 3, it comes out in a few months. They could do that, but they've said they haven't, and you either take their word for it or you don't. So there is Inkscape, and these are perfectly fine software. If you're looking for something obviously heavy, then either Adobe or Affinity or even some other more professional software out there, because I think Inkscape's great, but obviously it's not as feature rich or as powerful as it. Like, one issue is like Inkscape is not as hardware accelerated. Like Affinity can handle many different layers. Inkscape will really struggle because it's just down to the CPU. Just as I was about to upload this video, Affinity have just done an update post on the whole Canva situation, and it goes over their 4 key points on what their plan is. Now they're actually giving us way more detail. And so they've now doubled down that, yep, we are going to continue the licensing, that you only pay it once and that's it. And so it says they will always price Affinity fairly and affordably, which is, what does that mean? £5 a month could be considered affordable, because a copy's only £3, and how many do you have those a month? Exactly. So that could be an example. Accelerating Affinity, that's just them saying we're still going to prioritize Affinity. That's their main focus, and not going to move on to other projects. Nice. Accessible for, so if you're a school and a non-profit organization, you can get Affinity for free now. I don't know if this was already a thing or a new thing thanks to Canva, but that's a really nice touch. We are committed to shaping Affinity's future by your ideas and feedback, which is, I think, how they've sort of already been like. So, yeah, overall, this is a good response, I'd say. It's okay. It obviously doesn't say, they can't just say, oh, it's going to be forever a single purchase. Times change. It may become financially unviable for them. So I don't blame them for them saying, for the time, it's just going to be this for version 2. It's not great for obviously customers, but that's just how things are. What is important that you can go, if you scroll down to section 4, there's a link here that says hear from you, and essentially it's a Google form where you can put your concerns, what you would like to see in Affinity. And I'm just going to recommend that we reply and put a Linux port. I think that would be great, thanks. I think that is what I'd want to see the most. Please use that Canva money for that. But yeah, that's it. You can look at the link for yourself and read it in more detail. It kind of just sort of them just doubling down that we are firm on doing this. Anyway, I think that's enough talking. What's your opinions on this? Are you someone who's excited for this acquisition, or are you hater and are you going to switch to something different like Inkscape? In fact, maybe you're going to go more into open source. Do comment down below, and I'll see you in any future videos of software.